Hi, welcome to another video. I'm going to have a little walk around Sissinghurst Castle Garden National Trust Place. Now, if you think that you might see a castle here, you will be mistaken because there isn't a castle here. But let's get inside and we'll take a look at what's on offer. It's very, very nice. Good afternoon.
Hello, welcome. Are you a member?
Certainly
Yes.
am.
Have you been here before?
I have, yes.
So we're in the field today.
What does that mean?
That we're in the overflow.
Oh, the parking's in the
Yeah.
field. I thought we were all gathering in the field.
No. You're going to put your car in the field. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I can manage that, I think. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Sissinghurst Castle Garden. There isn't a castle, however there is a gorgeous quintessentially English country garden inside. Now the castle, the building itself stems back from Saxon times, so we're talking pre-William the Conqueror, and it was a pig farm. It was then renovated in the Elizabethan times, became an Elizabethan manor, but there's nothing that remains of that building other than this front courtyard area and the castle inside, which is a tower, and I'm going to go up that tower, so we'll do that. There's an oast house. In fact, what we'll do, I'll plan it in such a way that we're going to do the oast house. There's an exhibition in there. We'll have a look at the gift shop. We'll go inside this area. There's a courtyard. We can go up the tower, and then there's the garden. And what I can do is overlay some nice music, can't I? So you can come here as a National Trust member. I'm not sure how much it costs for non-members, but I shall find out right now. £18
No, I'm not there.
£17 standard admission if you don't want to do gift aid. So after the Elizabethan era, the building was leased to the Admiralty for the 7 Years' War, and my understanding is that the French prisoners burnt the place down. So that's all that's left of the place now. Then in 1930, Vita Sackville-West, with her husband Harold Nicolson, bought the estate. Now Vita was part of the Sackville family who owned many estates in Kent, and one of those is Knoll Park. I did do a video on Knoll Park, but they asked me to take it down because I did some filming inside. Naughty. So I obliged, I took it down. So I have to be careful where I film now. But this land, Sissinghurst, was in the Sackville family, but Vita couldn't inherit it. So because she couldn't inherit it, it fell out of her hands and the family's hands. But she bought it in 1930 along with her husband. They then spent 6 years renovating the estate and the manor house that they could live in, and it is what it is today thanks to her. Vita Sackville-West was a published author, novelist, playwright, poet. I'm not sure what Harold was, but they were from the avant-garde set. I believe she was bisexual as well, so kind of bohemian is the word I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk around, we'll go in, we'll just have a look at the garden and everything else. Lovely wisteria over there. I think we'll go up the castle, up the tower. I want to say castle because this is Sissinghurst Castle Gardens, but I think we'll go up the tower. And I don't think I'll speed this up because there's some fascinating things to see. Oh, yeah, I love this Bristol glass, isn't it? The blue colour. Fascinating. It's got Vita's actual living quarters. Coloured glass. Right, what's in here? I don't think they'd have done anything in here. But let's read some of these plaques, shall we? Inscriptions from the prisoners. So downstairs was the writing room. I'm just letting the images talk rather than me. But we've got one more flight to take up and we'll be at the top of the tower, get a vista of everything. Another room. It's very bohemian. Now I do understand that Vita's son Nigel wrote the novel Portrait of a Marriage, which has actually been turned into a film, which I'll put on the screen. It'd be interesting to see it, I think. Because it was all taboo, you know, it wouldn't even be frowned upon in today's society, but even in the 30s it was frowned upon. That's all fabulous. Now this gives us a perfect bird's eye view. So you've got the gazebo, the wild garden, you've got the white garden, the courtyard below. I forget what that one's called. The Delos, which I think is Greek or something. We'll have a look at that. Coming to this side. We can see the old Elizabethan house, part of the main garden there, which we'll have a walk through in a minute. So in essence, it's just a farm and a manor house. And it was Vita with her romantic vision of the tower that made her want to buy it. So just on the perimeter there is the old moat. It kind of comes all the way around. So just following the line there, gazebo's there, and then the moat comes around, so we'll have a walk around there. I think it's more about looking at the gardens, because that was Vita Sackville-West's passion. And so any architectural, structural rebuilds were Harold, but the garden was very much Vita.
Okay, you go in front of Mummy.
Oh, do you need some more?
Let's go down this way. We'll go the opposite direction to everyone else and perhaps end up at the formal garden. So we could do the Delos and the white garden. White because white plantage, white flowers. They leave the orchard in its wild state. I have seen it once where it's completely mown and pleasant and they didn't have all of these footpaths and stuff. You could just walk through. It was lovely. But now they just leave it for nature, to let nature do its thing. But I need to get down there, so I've got to go back through the white garden. God, if only you could smell it. It smells lovely here. This is the boathouse. I think a bit more modern than Tudor, but there's the moat. So from its original building, it's a nice walled structure going down, leads to the gazebo. Bit of a leading line, eh? And that's the orchard. Now the gazebo was erected in 1969 in memory of Harold Nicolson, Vita's husband. And another thing that happened in 1969 was that Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. And the last time I was here, you could get inside the gazebo and there's something about the landing, the moon landing. It's not open. What a shame. Actually can't get in. I don't think. If I can find something online I might even have some photographs myself from when I was here previously. There's kind of like a table with some maps and some plaques and things like that, and I guess if Harold Nicolson, you'd think I would know if I'm coming here to give you a video, I would do some brushing up. But being a member of Parliament, he may have had some connection to the Britain and the space race or something. So the moat goes round from the boathouse, past the gazebo, comes down here, and then abruptly ends. And that's it. The footpath on the other side of the moat, which you can access from the main entrance, takes you down to the lakes, and there's some wonderful woodland walks. I'll put a map up here of the route. We now come into the south cottage, which has its own little garden. So there's not really a lot of historical interest, if like me that's what you're into, like castles and ruins and things like that. But the gardens are just really lovely, and they're well looked after by volunteers and staff. So, you know, for a nice little walk around a garden, this is the place if you're in Kent. Coming out of the Lime Walk, we enter into the former gardens. Now this is a rather splendorous garden which has seasonal flowers, I would say, springtime, summertime, even autumn. And if you do an aerial view of it, I'll see if I can get some footage, it's got these rather huge Harry Potter-esque hedges. If you know, you know, right? Harry Potter and the chalice from the palace. No. The golden goblet, I can't remember, but Diggory dies. So I shall have a wander around here and overlay some music. And so leaving the formal garden back into the courtyard. And I understand that these are still in residence. They're private, so I don't know whether it's still the descendants of the Sackvilles. Nigel was the son. I'm not going to poke my camera in because it might be watching the television. So we'll head out, we'll go and look at the Elizabethan barn and have a wander around the gift shop, I think, and then get myself a coffee. I'm loving the old Oast house, and again they've left the kind of meadow area to be free reign, let it grow as it wants. So we're coming out of the Elizabethan manor, entrance was there, and that was the Delos, which was the Greek. Now I do understand it's either this one or the South Cottage, but I think because National Trust do this, you can actually rent the cottage and stay in it. But of course, if you're going to stay in the cottage, you've got to accept that you're going to get all these people wandering around all the time. It might be pleasant in the evening. This is the Elizabethan barn. Makes me wonder, they obviously had red bricks. What is the history of the red brick, you know? I often think it's just a modern thing. I'm getting attacked. I think we can go up. Let's do it. Let's do have a bit of an adventure that isn't a garden. See what we can see from up here. The Elizabethan barn. Oh, I was hoping we could go and stand at the edge there, but we can't. It's obviously a natural habitat for the birds. Millstones. Thing for the grain. That's fascinating. Almost a working barn, isn't it? I remember growing up in Scotland, a place called Gallow Ridge Hill Farm. I had a big barn like this just on the edge of the farmhouse where we lived. Me and my sisters and my aunts, when they visited, because they were only a few years older than me, would all play in the barn, and there'd be haystacks because the farm was still a working farm, and you'd get the harvest and the potatoes and whatever it is, plants they were picking. But they also had bales of hay, and we would jump off these beams, not these ones but similar, into the bales of hay. I think there's a Welsh word, heareth. I'll write it on the screen so that you can, I'm not sure if I'm butchering the pronunciation. Heareth, which basically means that you yearn for a time long gone or a time in the past that actually you never experienced previously, if that makes sense. Your own life's experiences take you to nostalgia, take you back to places, but in fact they're reminiscent of what might have been. So you can see here that this has a timestamp 1839. So this wood itself was stamped from 1839. Certainly not Elizabethan, but just prior to Victoria. Was it William that was the king before Victoria? Or was it George? George IV. Anyway, so coming out from the garden, you've got the vegetable garden and the bird hide down there. The actual footpath, there's a lay of trees going down just here, and then it cuts to the right, goes up the crest of the hill, swings round, and then comes back. So you can actually, of the 470 acres that this estate owns, or National Trust maintain, all of it is within that footpath, so you can walk the whole circumference. Just a rather chilled walking day, really. Let's just have a quick look inside the gift shop, see what wares they're offering. love Bristol blue glass when the sun shines through it. Nothing really unusual, more or less. Everything is much the same wherever you go, but because it's Sissinghurst, there'll be some unique connection type things for sale. The blue glass, the Bristol blue glass, because Vita liked the glass. We saw that in the tower. Right, I think a cup of coffee, don't you? And they do a rather lovely restaurant here. There's a cafe at the top at the entrance that we saw, but if you can get a spot, looks like all the tables out here are occupied. Might be some on the inside there. See what the queue's like. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go in and have a coffee. It was just too busy, and it was hot, and there was nowhere to sit, and there was a queue, and it was only soup of the day, or a scone, or a... I do like a moan, I really do. So I think I'll call it quits there. It was just an amble around Sissinghurst Castle Garden with some patchy history, and hopefully I can knock something together, make a presentable video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another one. Bye for now.